Footage of Ukrainian soldiers at the front lines, missiles firing, headlines flashing, war enters third year, US aid in limbo. As the war in Ukraine grinds into its third year, the United States is facing a pivotal question: how much longer and how much more? A proposed $60 billion aid packages to support Ukraine's defense is currently stalled in Congress, caught in a bitter political crossfire. And as Russian forces continue their offensive, Kyiv is watching closely and anxiously. Capitol Hill lawmakers speaking to reporters, military aid footage being loaded onto planes. The Biden administration is arguing swift passage of the aid bill, warning that the Ukraine's military is running dangerously low on ammunition, drones, and air defense systems. The package includes weapons and ammunition, humanitarian relief, infrastructure support, and the economic stabilization funds. The Republicans in both the House and the Senate are demanding more oversight, citing concern about corruption, accountability, and Americans' own financial properties. Senator G.D. Vance, House Speaker Mike Johnson, GOP press conference. Senator G.D. Vance and House Speaker Mike Johnson have been among the loudest voices calling for conditions on the aid, including real-time spending audits, limits on cash transfer, and a clear strategic benchmark for success. Some conservatives are even calling for a pause in military funding to altogether, arguing a shift in focus to domestic crisis from the southern border to rising national debt. President Biden at a press conference, Ukrainian President Zelensky speaking via video link to US lawmakers. President Joe Biden has pushed back, warning that failing to act will embolden Russia and signal American weakness on the world stage. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has also pleaded with Congress, saying Ukrainians' ability to hold the line, especially to Donetsk and Kharkiv, depends on continued US support. According to the Pentagon, much of Ukraine's artillery stockpile and long-range missiles capacity relies almost entirely on US support and resupply. US polling data, voters in town halls slipped screen on pro and anti-aid protests. But back home, the politics are shifting. Recent polls show a growing divide among American voters. Support for Ukraine aid remains strong among Democrats and independents, but over 60% Republicans voters now say the US is doing too much. With the 2025 election approaching, lawmakers are increasingly balancing global leadership with political risk. Borderline footage from Ukraine, destroyed buildings, civilians receiving aid, drones flying overhead. Meanwhile, on the ground in Ukraine, the war shows no signs of slowing. Russian forces have launched a new summer offensive in eastern Ukraine, and drone warfare continues to escalate. Millions remain displaced, and humanitarian organizations warn of winter shortage if aid does not reach Ukraine in time. Capitol building at night. Ukrainian flag next to American flag. Text decision pending. For Ukraine, the stakes are survival. For the US, it's a test of values, strategy, and staying power. Will Congress approve the aid in time? And will political gridlock put Ukraine and American influence at risk? The world is watching. Ukraine aid void coming weeks critical. Aid packages amount $60 billion. Status stalled in Congress. Key debate: oversight versus urgency, and the decision deadline before fall budget vote.